Hi everybody, Msfs Simmer here. So welcome to another leg of the NASCAR 2025 series with Walker Air Transport. We're here at Concord Regional outside of Charlotte, where our VIPs will have just visited and been enjoying the Coca-Cola 600. I'm flying this flight early, so can't give you any real-time information there, so I apologize. We're going to be planning on heading out runway 02, so I've got the plane moved over here to parking ramp 30. Just doing our typical get ready before we fly out. Get the pitot tube uncovered. We'll run around the wing, get the chocks and engine covers off, and then we'll jump in the aircraft. So, hope you've had a good week. Hope you had a good Memorial Day. Hoping I had a good Memorial Day. Doing this before Memorial Day weekend because we are moving between Memorial Day weekend and the next weekend. And then we're kind of waiting for our stuff to arrive. So we shall see how all of that moves along. But let me get things going because we want to get all of our equipment running. We're going to want to get our APU fired up. So we're going to start that up, coming up here pretty quickly. Let's get our EFB out. And we should be able to unload the last flight that I just did, because yes, I'm basically doing these back to back. For a couple episodes just to keep things going for you. But alright, so I'm probably gonna decide or do this off on my actual PC where it's a little bigger, and then we'll dial in what we have. So should be 02, just making sure Say Intentions thinks I'm here. It does. Okay, so ground clearance 118.55, 118.55. We'll get that in right away. We have got an altimeter of 2993, so we'll get everything set there. We'll get our standby on. Go ahead and get our emergency lights armed. Seat belts, recognition. See if I can do better with the lights. I've been pretty bad for a lot of the things. Alright, so it's going to take us out of Bobsey 5, supposedly. And then we're going to come in on, wait, why is it taking me to, why is it taking me to BNA? I'm not going to BNA. Because, yeah, ILS, interesting. Okay, so you can, there's an ILS, from BNA, I'm guessing, or, I don't know, I'm not sure what the issue is there, but that should work. I don't know why it would take us to BNA, so I'm going to remove that. There we go. That looks better. So what I want to do here, just to mimic what I'm doing, I don't need
Concord clearance, Diamond 1-2
the waypoint.
Tango. We're looking for our IFR clearance to Fayetteville. We have X-ray.
So, and then we're going to do ILS, and we're just doing the final, because we're going into Smyrna, which is outside of downtown.
EFO, then as filed, climb and maintain 9,000. Departure on 128.325, squawk 6265.
Papa Tango, read back correct.
Alright, so yeah, rather than fly into Nashville proper, we're coming into a regional just because it's quicker and easier for our folks to come in and out if we do that. But let's call in for our clearance. Concord clearance, Walker 4021 requesting IFR to Smyrna. But at this point, I should be able to go here, load this as the active flight plan, and our avionics should now be set. So I'm very grateful for being able to have found that.
To Smyrna via the Bob Z5 departure. Then as filed. Climb and maintain 4,000. Expect flight level 36010 minutes after departure. Departure on 128.325 squawk 2424. Expect runway 2.
Cleared to Smyrna via the Bob Z5 departure, then as filed. Climb and maintain 4,000. Expect flight level 36010 minutes after departure. Departure on 128.325 squawk 2424. Expect runway 2. Walker 4021. Alright, so let's get this dialed in.
Walker 4021, read back correct.
So we should be good there. And then we'll just make sure we're not seeing anything strange here. I think we're all good. So no gaps that I can see. Let me just see where lock-in is. It's probably... we might be able to be at 36,000. I'm not sure. We're going to try. See what it says. But, so that should give us that. Because I'm guessing that's 30 miles away. In this plane, that should be doable. So, okay. So I think, yeah, let me just actually get myself dialed in. Because, yeah, now I can turn on the flight director. I can do VNav, nav. Our altitude, we're cleared to 4,000. So, get ourselves dialed in there. So we're all set with that. And now, I think we're all set. Can start up. So let's get all of these opened up. Get this going. Get things started. Yeah, we've got plenty of fuel. A little late to check that, but that's what we were doing. Alright, and 299er3 in our standby. We are all set at this point. But yes, what is happening here for you, they will have finished the Coca-Cola 600. We are on the way to Nashville for the Cracker Barrel 400, taking place on June 1st. So obviously we're flying in on May 31st on Saturday here. So that is where we're going. And so yeah, the issue is, you know, our actual move is taking place midweek, 28th, 29th, and I think the 31st is the first possible day the truck could arrive, but I'm going to be very surprised if that happens. And even if it does, it would be very difficult for me to have them unpack a truck, get everything set up, and get you a video on the 31st. If it happened, it would be way, way at night, and I'd probably have a really upset wife. So, like, hey, what are you doing? We just got all our stuff here. Let's unpack some stuff. So yeah, trying to give myself a little bit of extra time. You know, in worst case, hopefully we should have things just a few days later into June. If we do, so I should have like 3 or 4 days between when the next leg will be, which is June 7th, when we're flying up to Michigan. But, alright, so we're going to go ahead and get the flaps down, and I am going to go ahead again, get a better view here, because otherwise we can't really see the guards, and can't see the button under the guards, more importantly. But we'll get that set. Okay. So we're good there. We need to get our takeoff trim good. It's always way off on this plane. I don't know why. But let's see. We have ground is 12185. So it's always the problem is we need 12185 transfer, and yeah, so puts it in there. Concorde ground, Walker 4021, ready for taxi.
Walker 4021, Concorde ground, taxi to runway 2 via Alpha 5 Alpha.
Taxi to runway 2 via Alpha 5 Alpha. I didn't do my call sign. Bad me. Guess we should have our anti-collision lights on too. That would be helpful. Alright.
No takeoff.
You're right. There is no takeoff. I'm not suggesting there is. But there should be movement. So, go around the cart here. And again, we're taking off 02. So we'll be heading to the north, which is not great, but it's the way they want to run us. So we'll go off this way. And at this point, now we should be seeing the markers on the taxiway. Yep. So we may have gone out a different location.
Departure clearance in approximately 2 minutes.
Holding position Gulfstream 671 Golf Sierra.
Alright, yeah, this plane just moves along pretty quickly.
5225 Juliet is cleared to Shirab via Chesterfield and then as filed. Climb and maintain 5000, departure on 128.325 and squawk 3226 and departure runway will be 20.
Alright, we're going to pull back here.
Correct.
Concorde ground, Skyhawk 419 Golf, we are clear the active request taxi to general aviation parking.
Alright. Concorde ground at runway 02, ready for departure. Sure, it's going to tell us to switch to tower.
Walker 4021, you are on ground frequency. Contact tower for departure clearance.
You didn't clear me to tower, you smarty pants. So, yeah. Craziness. I always love when they're, like, giving you the third degree, like somehow I did something wrong. You didn't do your job, sir. So we're getting departure locked in there. Alright. Concorde Tower, Walker 4021, runway 02, ready for departure.
Walker 4021, Concorde Tower, runway 2, winds 305 at 6. RNAV LAC in, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 2, RNAV Lacken, cleared for takeoff, Walker 4021. Alright. Let's go. Flaps are down. Do need to change from taxi to landing, so wasn't quite the problem, although I technically probably shouldn't have moved without having the landing lights on, but we did it pretty quickly, so give us a little bit of grace, right? So yeah, no breaks through the whole NASCAR season. There is a race every week. So again, Lord willing, I will be keeping up with that, along with everything else I may be doing here and there. Been a lot of Tower Companion. I hope you've enjoyed that with Tower Simulator. I'm really happy that I got introduced to that. That thing's actually quite nice. Really is a great complement to Tower Simulator to get things going. So I should be able to do auto throttle. Or, well, maybe not. Maybe not yet. Alright. So, because I think we have to have autopilot on and then go to auto throttle. So now I can do auto throttle. So now it's on takeoff. So I think, hopefully, it will do what it needs. And we're going to go direct lock-in. Activate direct to lock-in. So that'll get us there. And again,
Contact departure.
auto throttle's there.
505 Alpha Mike.
That's what I was doing wrong
090,
last time.
departure.
Silly me, I'm hitting the wrong...
090, contacting departure, Skyhawk 505 Alpha Mike.
Contact departure, Walker 4021.
Negative.
Concord departure, Walker 4021 with you.
Walker 4021, Charlotte departure, radar contact, climb and maintain flight level 360.
Who's hit the heading button? I don't know why. Climb and maintain flight level 360. Walker 4021. Alright, so it's going to get us up there, which is great, because that's what we want. We want to go as quick as we can. Right now, we are climbing at over 7,000 feet a second, so that would be pretty exciting up here. Let's see. See if we can circle around. So, there's the airport, I believe. This is where we took off from. Just interesting view. It looks very sandy. But yeah, we've got still 28 miles. So I'm pretty comfortable that we will make it. Obviously the climb will slow down at some point. So you can see we're dropping to 6,000 and we're basically going to drop like 50 feet every little bit. I mean, we're getting a little bit extra right now, which is great. But there you go, now we're suddenly leveling out. But some of that is, I think it's going to try to speed up. And then go from there. But so little shorter, or you know, longer flight obviously than we had last time. So you can see we've got 277 miles to go. It's theoretically supposed to just take about half an hour. So I don't know if it makes sense to stick around and just hang out together the whole time. I may do that, given that it's a little bit shorter, but I don't anticipate a whole lot of excitement. So that's the other piece. So we can get the landing lights off just to not confuse anybody. But clear day today. I don't know if it'll be a clear day, you know, a week from now. But right now things are pretty good. But yeah, I think time to go is showing 48 minutes. But once again, we will be speeding up once we get up to cruising altitude. And that should move us along pretty nicely. So it may or may not take as long, but right now ground speed's 356. Obviously as we climb we go a little bit faster just because how things work. There's a little thinner and so forth. But oh, I've got the APU on. I don't need that anymore, so we'll get that turned off. That'll, you know, burn less fuel that way.
You're following the 767, 12 o'clock in 6 miles.
All right, 21,500. So.
Charlotte, departure, Garmin 2677, like to cancel our IFR flight plan.
All right,
Walker 4021, contact Atlanta Center on 133.15.
Walker 4021, Atlanta Center, 133.15. Walker. Whoop. Kind of already said Walker 4021 because I screwed up. Atlanta Center, Walker 4021 with you. Flight level 240 up to flight level 360.
Walker 4021, Atlanta Center, good morning.
All right. Yeah, because now we're already up to almost 390 on the ground speed. We're getting there, so we'll be exceeding 400 pretty easily, and then that is what will kind of cut our time down and get us to the Nashville vicinity pretty quickly. But we've got, what, 6 miles? So I guess we won't be at that height at Locken. I thought we would, but doesn't look like it. Maybe we'll be at 30,000, but that's probably going to be as much as we can hope for. We might not even be that high. So yeah, it just gets harder to climb, also because the air's thinner. So, and that's why, for whatever reason, SimBrief loves to assign this plane if you let it automatically assign above 40,000 feet. I mean, it's a challenge to get this plane up into the upper threes, so I can only imagine how difficult it would be to get to 40,000. But we're now turning. We're now going to be shortly heading to our next waypoint, Yingen. And then we've got Borzy very quickly after that. But yeah, a little bit of a, I don't know, a W crossing here is the path we've got. That's the airways that exist, and that's how they route traffic. But yeah, so technically, yeah, we're probably not even going to be at height by Yingen. Or maybe Borzy, we'll see. Because yeah, now we're down to 2,700 as our climb. But at this point, pretty good view heading over into Middle Tennessee. I mean, obviously we're kind of near, or well, let's take a look at the map. Yeah, I think we are just crossing. I'm not sure where we're at yet. No, we still got a good part of North Carolina. Yeah, Charlotte's not really near the border, so we're really heading toward Middle Tennessee between Ruitt and Bama. That will be our transition kind of over the Appalachians and so forth. But yeah, we got to get to Brain, and then we're kind of heading up, starting to cross some borders. About 33,000.
American
It just,
350,
you sit really low in the
immediately to
plane.
Flight level 340. Climbing immediately to flight level 340, American 350.
Immediately. Uh-oh. Something serious is going on there.
Center, Roger.
All right, well, we're at 34.
69 Atlanta Center, contact Jacksonville Center on 133.4.
Jacksonville Center on 133.4, schedule 369.
All right. So, got a little ways to go, so I guess a little bit of movement. Oh, okay, we already got to Bobsey, so, but just about at cruise, and then once again I think it will accelerate us a little bit, maybe. We'll see. Because, yeah, I think it'll get us closer to Mach 0.835, and we're at 0.7. So, yeah, it's going down now. And that'll put us right at that borderline. But you can see the ground speed's now 450 and climbing. And, yeah, down to 31 minutes. So, I don't know that we've gone super fast, but yeah, it's helped us out.
Atlanta Center. I'll call your descent in roughly 15 minutes. Notify if you're ready to descend before that.
Alright, so good to know. So 15 whole minutes before we're going to get some descent. But yeah, in theory, we should be at 0.835, and it got us to 0.84. I think it is letting us slow down a little bit, so. But yeah, right about 480, 470, I guess ground speed is down below 478, so I think airspeed's a few knots faster. But obviously airspeed don't matter a whole lot. It's really the ground speed that's going to give us details. So yeah, I've been... my one experience actually getting to drive NASCARs, which ended up being kind of a vendor event that I was lucky enough to be able to participate in. I did that at Nashville Superspeedway. It was fun. It's pretty cool. So if you ever get a chance and you're interested in that at all, I would certainly suggest that you take advantage of those opportunities. Oh, sorry. A little bit of a yawn in between in the middle of the sentence there. So that was the weird delay that you experienced. But we're getting to Bryan. I'm going to say it's Bryan. I don't know if it is or not. But we're getting there, and obviously we'll be turning. And like I said, it's just not really a straight line.
Southwest 507, turn right, heading
Now again,
045 vectors
say
for
intentions is telling me the top of descent is
facing Southwest 507.
still 16 minutes away. We are going to dial down a little bit just so we get our plane set.
Atlanta Center, Navy 4 tree, please discontinue VFR flight following at this time.
Now to get a top of descent here,
Radar services terminated. Squawk VFR. Frequency change approved.
right, it looks like it's going to do some stuff. Because I was going to say, if we don't have things early enough, sometimes we don't get it. If I go to VNAV, I think it'll give me information. So, descent, profile. No, it's not giving me top of descent. So this is where it's a little bit tricky, because I can put some things in, but I don't know if I want to. So, let's see. Alright, there we go. So now we do get a top of descent in 528. So, right after Ruit, it looks like. So yeah, we'll be getting there before we know it. We've got about 40 miles, and at the speed we're moving, that will be maybe 6 minutes. No, I guess it'll be longer than that. 400. I I guess, I mean, it's theoretically a tenth of an hour at the speed we're moving, but I don't think we're going to hit the top of descent that quickly, but we'll find out. But if it doesn't run it down quicker, I'll obviously call for descent with say intentions so that we hopefully get sent and vectored accordingly. So yeah, I am excited from the NASCAR standpoint. We will be close to Bristol, which has been a bucket list item for me forever. I would love to see races there, but even just one race would be pretty nice. So we'll see if that comes to pass at any point in time, but yeah, we unfortunately, with the storms that came through that really kind of ravaged southeastern Kentucky a bit, London, Kentucky, I think got hit pretty bad with a pretty big tornado, but I think that same storm that came through the previous Saturday looks like it knocked down or broke off a piece of a tree that's in our yard. Luckily, we don't have anything near the house, so you know, it didn't affect anything that way, but I think it's over in a neighbor's yard, and obviously we're not there, so but some of the folks taking care of the property, doing some work around there, cutting the lawn and stuff like that, sent us a video. It's hard to tell exactly where it is and whatever, but so I may immediately have some work down there just trying to clear that tree out of the yard, and but I think the house it fell into, I don't know that it's occupied at this point.
American 467, maintain 250 knots. Maintaining 250 knots, American 467. Piper 500, Sierra Bravo, Atlanta Center, roger. Lancaster altimeter 2988.
So we shall see.
Jacksonville Center on 133.4.
Right, so
200 Jacksonville Center at 133.4, Piper 500, Sierra Bravo.
now, did it move the top of descent? I don't understand. Now it says 18 minutes. I don't understand. And it says 11 minutes and say intentions. So yeah, overall, just really interesting. So I guess it's moved us a bit, but we'll see once we get to Ruit, because I think it is a good ways to Bama, and I'm fine being at cruise longer if we can be. Oh, now it's suddenly 1 minute and 37. So confusing. Because yeah, I noticed the TOD had vanished, and then suddenly now it's back, so what it's doing, I can't tell you. But, yeah, it's still 245 at Bama. But overall distance is down to 170-ish, it looks like, so we're getting close. So I'm curious if I call the descent early or not. So we're a little bit in excess, but that's why I've set the plane to be 0.835 to hopefully avoid that, but it, like, clearly with the auto throttle, it's not a perfect science with this thing. Atlanta Center, Walker 4021 requesting descent. Alright, 260 is where it's supposed to be clearing me. I don't know why I'm not hearing it, but that's what it's given me. Descend and maintain flight level 260, Walker 4021. Yeah, we've suddenly lost. Yeah, I don't understand. So now it's not. It messed up somehow, so let's do that, and then we'll go from there. But we'll manually initiate the descent because we're supposed to be 2450 at Bama, which is 80 miles away, so be there before we know it at the speed we're going.
Right to 045 for spacing, Southwest 507.
Alright, so I'm going to have to pay attention because I'm not going to obviously get a audible call. I mean, obviously it's still functioning, but it's just acting strangely. Alright, it hasn't given me any kind of...
4021, descend and maintain 6,000.
Interesting, now it came back, alright. Descend and maintain 6,000, Walker 4021. That is a long way down, but alright. Seems like it's going to make the flight longer than it needs to be, but maybe not. Because, yeah, at this point I think we're kind of across the mountains. Well, maybe we're kind of right about there, so I guess we're in the middle of crossing the Appalachian Range, where it's a little bit bigger here. I mean, I don't think it's descending insanely fast, but, I mean, it's certainly fast enough. I mean, we are down to 140, so we've gone 30 miles and gone down a little over 10,000 feet, so it could take us another 60, but that's the thing, we could be at like 6,000 feet, like 70 miles away, and once we get below 10, we're going to need to be below 250. Oh, I had a little bit of a panic moment. I really do like the new smart car system because, yeah, I didn't like restart or anything. I'm like, oh my god, I'm not tracking my flight. I'm gonna have to start over. But no, it's appropriately doing it, and it's got me going and all that. But they've automated a lot of things in the last month or two, and so that has helped. And so since I hadn't closed down smart cars, it's still there, so that has been excellent. Alright, well, we haven't gotten any new barometric pressure yet, so I guess we'll leave it where it's at, because in theory, I mean, I suppose you could always look it up. I don't know if real pilots do that, or they just wait for ATC to give it to them. But yeah, it looks like we're just getting past to the north of us here. So in that direction, I don't know that we can see because it's probably pretty far away, is Knoxville. Kind of up there somewhere. So it just gives you a little bit of perspective. We flew basically south of Asheville.
Contact approach on 126.45.
Switching
United 771.
Alright, and see, now it's bringing us down to 250.
134.8, New Bear 256.
So, I don't know. It's going to be close, I suppose. And it's not that far. Although, it's interesting because... Well, no, I guess it's like 180 miles from, like, Nashville to Gatlinburg, so... Somehow I was thinking it was like 300. I'm like, how are we only 120 miles via the air? But, no, it's probably right, because, again, you go to Knoxville and you go south like 40 miles, so... It's probably 140 to Knoxville, and we're past Knoxville, and, again, we're not going all the way to Nashville proper. We're going to, Smyrna, which is southeast of the city, but a little closer to the racetrack. But yeah, we are now getting closer to 100 miles away, but see, we've already fallen. You know, that's the issue speed-wise. We've gone from 480 to 309. Suddenly we have 23 minutes to, you know, for time to go. So, but at this point, I mean, we've already been flying pretty much since we broke through the transition level at 18,000, or flight level 180. It brought us down to 250 at that point per kind of the automatic settings of the plane.
Walker 4021, contact Knoxville approach on 118.0.
Contact Knoxville approach 118.0, Walker 4021. It's interesting, because this wouldn't seem to be a Knoxville thing, but... Knoxville approach, Walker 4021. 11,000 feet, descending 6,000.
Walker 4021, Knoxville approach. Good morning, Smyrna altimeter, 29.901. Expect the ILS, runway 32 approach into Smyrna.
Expect the ILS 32 approach into Smyrna, Walker 4021. Alright, good news is that's what we have set on our plans, so we're not going to have to scramble like I did on the last flight, which was also a very short flight, so scrambling didn't help there. I just had a lot less time to react. We still have over 100 miles now, which is you know, double the length of the whole flight that we had when we went from North Wilkesboro down to Charlotte.
Mooney 56 Alpha Bravo, right to the VOR, descent to 4,000.
So, yeah, we're kind of spreading out now a little bit. We've got, I think the next few races are going to be taking us a little bit longer. But yeah, I mean, we are near Knoxville, but we're kind of obviously heading away, and Smyrna's very close to I assume we'll get transferred to Nashville at some point. So, still got 37 miles. But yeah, I think we'll be down at 6,000 before we get to Bama. Where it was saying we could be at 246 then, so... Not sure I enjoyed what this was doing. But... it's not a perfect science, I suppose, with the top of descent and all. But now we are leveling out at 3,000. It's obviously going to have to move the throttles up so you can see it doing that, hear it doing that.
Walker 4021, contact Atlanta. Approach on 123.9.
Really going to move us around. Contact Atlanta, approach 123.9er, Walker 4021. Atlanta approach, Walker 4021, 6,000.
Walker 4021, Atlanta approach, good morning, Smyrna altimeter 29.9er, whoa.
29.9er, whoa. That's an interesting sound, but alright. So, just pretty typical. You know, flying is flying. It's the takeoffs and landings that get you to the unique places. In between, a lot of things look similar. I'm trying to figure out if those are, that's like smoke coming from somewhere, or it's just weird ground features. I mean, we'll know when we go by. I don't think we're... Well, actually, we're going to head to the left a bit, it looks like. You can see the flight path. But yeah, I wasn't sure if it was some sort of, like, exhaust from buildings. Let's see if I can... Whoop. Resource usage exceeds GPU. Alright. Oh, it is a nuclear plant. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Oak Ridge, I think, is north of here. You know, it's not that that could be the only nuclear plant, but yeah, it's a little bit interesting, though, because we'll be going by and then turning. But they have you kind of close, that's for sure. So there you go, you can see.
Piper 45, Charlie Papa, cleared for the visual 24, maintain 90 knots.
So get a pretty good view there.
24, maintaining 90 knots, 45, Charlie Papa.
But 88 nautical miles out.
Maintain present altitude. Advise when able to proceed.
But we should, well, we haven't turned yet, so... Oh wow. We still have 20 miles to Bama. This is going to take a little bit of time, so I apologize. I guess in the future I'll know. Probably over 200 miles probably might be still worth the normal. Give a break and go from there. But trying to think if there's anything worth chatting about. Haven't done a lot of Power Wash Simulator recently, like I said at the start, I think. I have been very immersed in Tower Companion simply because there's a 2-week trial. So I wanted to kind of test a few things out. You're going to keep seeing videos come out on that. You know, there's probably still some there. I don't know where we're at here when this comes out on the channel, but given that it's the end of May, I think I'm already, with what I've edited and kind of slotted into spaces, already into the start of June, but getting a little close to ending. But I also have the challenge with PGA Tour that trying to spend some time there, level up my golfer and things like that, so getting close to the turning point. And then, yeah, looks like can see the hold pattern for the airport, so I'm guessing on our PFD we're getting close here. But still telling us 17 minutes. So a little bit of hills. Or bigger hills, small foot hills, I guess. But it kind of looks like, yeah, we've kind of got a plateau change. And that's the thing, you know. Nashville's kind of in a bowl, is what you hear when you're living there. And so, yes, things kind of stagnate a little bit. But I think this gives you a little bit of a more visual view of exactly the type of layout we're talking about, because yes, there's definitely an elevation change. Might not be significant, but I'm sure it's a few hundred feet at least. But it kind of just falls off the ridge line there, and suddenly you're lower. So I don't know if this is the official dividing line between East and Middle Tennessee. That would be a nice place to do it, I suppose. But a little bit will almost be due north of Chattanooga.
7 traffic at 11 o'clock and 10 miles westbound, 5,400 for 2,000 is a 757. Expect to follow.
Following the traffic. American 1877.
Still about 3 miles. But then I think the next few points will be smaller. And yes, you can see we've got runway 32. So, like, the airport is on the scope, but it's, you know, 40. The next waypoint's just inside the 40 arc. So we're obviously going to have less than 40 to get there. But we've got, you know, about 69, but that's as the crow flies and as they're directing us and sending us through the airways here. We're not flying like the crow, we're flying like a controlled jet. So but now we've made the turn. It looks like, yeah, 35 to Swift. Now it's interesting because it looks like it's at 40. Maybe it's just a quirk of the view with the arrow. Alright, we're still on Atlanta approach, so we haven't gotten transferred to anything else. I can't imagine Smyrna's a towered airport, so we may just be told to land and that'll be it. Alright, now we're certainly due north of Chattanooga. But again, quite a ways, actually further than I think we were from Knoxville, so no way we're going to be able to see anything, so we're not even going to waste time and look and move things around. But, yeah, a little bit quiet. Just kind of what you want for a flight. I mean, it's better than you're crashing and things are going crazy, so certainly beats the alternative. But yeah, it just takes a bit, and obviously at this point we're kind of flying away from the airport, so we're obviously not going to be eating up the miles quite as fast as we were when we were on a little bit more of a direct line to the airport. Now we're kind of extending our distance a bit, the way it's bringing us around. So, just relaxing, taking in the view. Hopefully you are as well and enjoying it. Maybe have it running in the background. I appreciate it if you're doing that.
Delta Echo traffic at 1 o'clock, 3 miles eastbound, altitude unknown. Looking for traffic 773 Delta Echo.
Longitude 589er, 6 Romeo, Knoxville approach, roger.
But yeah, once we turn in, I think we're pretty much going to be on the 3-2 approach. It looks like it's bringing us in relatively directly there. Alright, so probably not much going to happen until we make the turn, and even then I think we're going to have a bit of time. Because we'll probably be within 40, but it's going to be kind of right there. But a few more hills and valleys. But you can kind of see basically the waypoint is past the ridges. And I guess at this point, since it's quiet, we'll just get the landing rate monitor up. Give you a little bit of a view, but yeah, so it's about 2,000 feet in elevation with what we're passing over here. But yeah, can't say I'm not a little bit nervous. Obviously, you know, when things are getting moved and jostled around, I just have visions of suddenly my stuff not working and struggling with that. That won't be good if that happens, but you know, we'll get through it if we must. But the plan is certainly get set up as quickly as I can, and then you know, get going from there. So, where are we at? 8 miles? Oh, I saw something blink on say intentions. I thought it was going to be sending us a switching request, but not yet. But yeah, we're 45 miles, so we will not be within 40 miles of the airport yet when we make that turn. At this point, we're probably going away from it more than we are coming toward it. But we're obviously aligning. We're not really flying an arc around. Sometimes some patterns have you do that. But, you know, we're maintaining 273 as the ground speed.
Delta 1221, descend and maintain 2000. Delta 1221, descending to 2000.
So, nice quiet day in the cockpit. Alright, but we should be turning soon. And then we'll see where we're at approach-wise. But yeah, it looks like we're showing about 42 from the airport is what I see. 41, so maybe we'll get right down to 40. Because obviously we will start like turning toward it, and that will obviously be bringing us toward it. So I know that sounds ridiculous, but alright, so there
Walker
we go.
4021, Atlanta approach, contact Memphis approach on 125.1.
I don't understand. I mean, I know Nashville, I think, doesn't have a center, but contact Memphis approach 125.1, Walker 4021. Memphis approach, Walker 4021 with you, 6,000 feet. So we've gained about 1,000 above ground level, so that you can see those hills are about
Memphis
that level.
approach. Good morning, Smyrna altimeter 29.91.
So, good to see, good to see.
Walker 4021.
There we go.
Memphis approach, proceed direct Kjqf-Kmqy. Descend and maintain 3000, altimeter 29.91 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 32 approach.
Proceed direct Kjqf-Kmqy, descend and maintain 3000. Altimeter 2991. Established on the ILS 32 approach, cleared for ILS 32, Walker 4021. Yeah, that was kind of a messed up call, but we'll go with it. I don't know how we lost VNAV suddenly, but we did. So, alright, but definitely needing to pay attention. So, let's get a little more focused here. So, Kjqf. Alright, well, we're getting close there. We're gonna turn on approach. Why can we not turn on approach? I don't understand. Nav. Like nothing's working. Huh. I mean, it's flying in, but yeah, but it's not working there, so that stinks. But maybe when we get closer, it'll allow us to do things. I hope.
Cleared to visual 27.
Cleared for the visual 27, United 1244.
But we're 28 miles out. I've never flown into this airport, so it's not as if I know anything about it. Yeah, it is not gonna... So I may have to manually do this. That's kind of annoying. Oh no, the autopilot is on. What the heck? So VNAV, but why won't approach engage? I'm pretty sure the procedure, yeah, it's ILS 32. I suppose we can activate it. Maybe we have to do that. There we go. Okay. Oh, approach. Interesting. Didn't realize approach turns off nav, but okay. How does it have no glide slope? I mean, I know we're 22 miles away, so that may be the issue, is we're just too far. It's probably only going out to Kjqf. Alright, so I feel better now that it was just the visual of where I was at, but yeah, I think it's because, yeah, you're up, okay, now I see, because you're up there and you can't see the buttons, or the lights above the buttons, I should say, the indicators. Alright, now it's on the localizer. Get the flaps starting to go down. But a nice... So how is there no glide slope? I don't know. I'm hoping once we get to Kjqf. I mean, we are... Well, no, we're not. It's already telling me Oxum is 12 miles. I mean, it is an ILS, so it should do better than that. But I was talking about on the last flight that I think I found how to turn off that annoying buzz on the auto throttle once we disengage. So we'll see if I'm able to execute that or not. But
Walker 4021. Contact Smyrna Tower on 118.5.
Contact Smyrna Tower 118.5, Walker 4021. Smyrna Tower, Walker 4021 with you on approach, ILS 32. Alright, now we have a glide slope, so it was just getting close enough to Kjqf, I guess.
Walker 4021, Smyrna Tower, roger. Continue approach ILS, runway 32.
Continue approach ILS 32, Walker 4021.
Go to departure, 8 Victor Kilo, have a good day.
Wolf Air 049, contact departure.
Alright, get ourselves down.
049.
Because now we're down to 12 nautical miles out, so should be close, but 2,300 feet above ground. Glide slope is finally starting to come down on the PFD display there, so we should be capturing that soon. Probably in the next mile or two, I would think, and then obviously we proceed from there. Get our gear down so that we're not rushing that when we go for final flaps. But 10 miles. I don't think I turned on my lights again. Bad me. So I'm a terrible pilot with my lights. Let's be up front. There we go. Glide slope captured. Runway visible. And we are proceeding 2-degree angle, 3-degree angle, back to 2. And at this point, we'll go full flaps.
Walker 4021,
get ourselves stabilized.
Runway 32, cleared to land.
Runway 32, cleared to land. Walker 4021. Why did I say 25? Yeah, that was a weird pitch down for a bit. I don't know what happened there, but it might have just been, again, it getting used to its flaps and all that, so... Alright, looks like we're stabilizing below 2,000. So yeah, my Firefly Air, I do a lot of, you know, pretty much any flight I do, I let it track there. We're getting close. We may have actually finished. I haven't looked in probably a week. But the current session, and I think I was basically stabilized. I'm looking to just stay in the group I'm in, which is the level 4 group. It's just the lowest that there is, because I'm not looking to really fly like crazy at this point and do stuff. You know, maybe once I get to the point where I'm really retired and, you know, I can fire up long flights every day or something, maybe that'll be more fun. To just try to push the envelope there and compete, but right now I'm happy to just stay in the center of the pack. So I don't want to be in the top 3, I don't want to be in the bottom 3 of the 12. I want to be in the obviously middle 6. And I think I was solidly there. I think I was in 7th or something, because I think frankly the bottom 3 have no miles, because they're just not doing anything. Which is not great, because then it's not like a group will maintain. Alright, 600 feet.
Right turn, Diamond Tree 71 Bravo Charlie.
But nice open space around the airport here. Pretty good view. No obstructions of visibility or anything like that, so that's always fun. Always nice to have just an easy approach. 300. Alright, so turn that off.
50, 40.
Come on.
20.
Ooh, I came down really hard. I'm hoping it didn't register at the 800. That would be really bad. Oof. Oh boy. Now it says 76, but we'll see. We'll see what it officially indicates.
No takeoff. No takeoff.
I don't want takeoff. But yes, it's just when you move the throttle. So it does look like you can leave the auto throttle on and engaged. I'm not sure if I'm probably vacating the wrong way, but this is...
Walker 4021, welcome to Smyrna. Contact ground on 121.4.
Contact ground 121.4, Walker 4021. So again, we want to vacate here. And again, across the line. I talked about this last time. This is something I found out recently that as flight simmers we're terrible at. That is what we're supposed to do. You are not supposed to stop before the line. This is just to keep the runway clear. So you stop after the line and then go. Smyrna ground, Walker 4021. Request taxi to General Aviation.
Walker 4021, taxi to Park 17 via Juliet, cross runway 14, then Delta, cross runway 19er, then Bravo. Have a great day.
Holy moly. Taxi to Park 17 via Juliet, cross runway 14, then Delta, cross runway 19, then Bravo. Walker 4021. Alright, where? Oh, well, so what am I supposed to do? Turn around in the intersection? I guess I can. Alright, well, we'll play the game. Okay, I'm not taking off. Is it just because I have the brake on? I don't understand. Like, panics immediately. I mean, I barely touched the throttle. No takeoff. You're right. I don't want to take off. Alright, well, hopefully we have enough tarmac here. Like, if we had self-loading cargo, this would not be good. but I think we were able to rotate, so that's good. Alright. And this should be enough. It'll take a little bit to accelerate. It told us we could cross, so we didn't have to call and...
15 X-ray Papa, hold position, landing traffic on short final.
But
Holding position, Cherokee 315.
I did not realize there were 2 runways at this airport. I just saw one, so...
Okay, cleared to Middle Georgia. Radar vectors to SYI. Minutes filed. Climb and maintain 3000. Departure on 118.4. Squawk 1642.
Alright, so we're across 14. So yeah, the thing is, I could use the auto throttle at the end there, and it turned off. Like, I didn't do anything at that point, so it did seem to disengage when I landed. But yeah, the problem is if I exceeded... I think we do get to go to 800 with Walker, but I like to be less than like 550, because I think that's pretty much what all my VAs are. Alright, so I just vacated in the wrong direction. I kind of thought I did when I was flying in. I'm like, yeah, everything looks like it's over on this side. So it's a little bit of shame on me, but, you know, and really, I mean, as a pilot, I probably really needed to get more familiar with where I'm flying into before you just go crazy like that. Alright, because we were going like 40. Now we got to make a pretty tight turn here. Alright, let me go and park. So, oh goodness, we got a long way to go here. So we'll go down the line of planes. And where is it taking us? Holy moly. It's like, we're going to put you in the corner of the airport because we know you're going to be here for a few days. It's like trying to park me in the grass. Well, I'm not going to do that. Hopefully I can pull into this and we'll stop here, I guess. Alright. So we'll turn that off, get our flaps up. Should have done that right away. Again, I didn't turn on my taxi lights, so shame on me. But we'll get everything unprotected and turned off, and we're good. Alright, so let's go look. I hope. Alright, thank goodness. Oh, maybe not. Why does it say? I wonder if we're limited. So I have a red thing that says cleared to fly May 22nd. I don't understand what happened there. Like, it wouldn't let me. Oh, now it finally did. So, yeah, it wouldn't let me bid the next flight. I'm like, this is odd, but that makes some sense, I suppose. But all right, so yeah, it is showing me. Let's see.
Airbus 450 Alpha Bravo, proceed to the maintenance area via taxiway hotel contact ground on 121.9.
All right, I'm not
Proceeding to the
seeing.
maintenance area via hotel contact
Yeah,
ground
it
on
gave me.
121.9 Airbus 450 Alpha Bravo.
It gave me 77, so I am surprised.
Welfare 049, read back correct.
All right, so we are set, and we're here. But yeah, a weird place it had me taxi to, but that's where it had me go. So once again, as long as nothing goes against plan, hopefully then in a couple weeks I'll be kind of on the normal thing. I'll be able to tell you who won the race. we'll be able to go from there. As always, if you've enjoyed this, haven't dropped a like or are not a subscriber, please consider those things, and I will see you next time.